Oh boy. Dang it. Oh my goodness. It is day one, this project, and already we got problems. Ay, ay, ay. My car died, and I am not exactly in an easy spot to get to. I'm coming down this really steep dirt driveway. We're trying to get a bulldozer to the property to dig a farm pond. And my Suburban stalled on the hill and, and died. So I just called Kay. She's coming to rescue me with our other vehicle. And all my stuff's in the Suburban, my laser, the Transit, my tape and spray paint, and the bulldozer I'm supposed to be opening up gates for and helping him get to the property is way ahead of me. So that's why I'm running down this hill. Got to catch up to him, open some gates, and get my vehicle fixed. Alright, Kay saved me, and the dozer made it, and now I gotta go get back and get my car, but we'll figure all that out. Let's start digging, pushing, and getting this homestead off the ground and running. One of our biggest concerns with this property, moving our whole family and all our animals homesteading off of Sunny Mountain, is the lack of water. And we've already said we don't have it in the budget to put a well in, especially with the uncertainty that drilling a well on a mountaintop has. We don't know if we'd actually get water. So the pond dig begins today. I got an operator who's actually one of Kay's family members, has done ponds for years. He's here helping us do the excavation. I laid this pond out with my parents earlier before we started digging. And now I got my operator. His name is Danny. He's a long distant cousin of Kay's. He's here, he's put in a lot of ponds. He's an amazing operator, and he's gonna help us get this in. So this is the future pond location, and this is a pretty important first project for our new homestead, because if we can't hold water, we can't move all our animals and our family to this property. So this one's kind of a make or break. This pond has got to work. I laid the location out with my parents who, as I've mentioned in previous videos, they do a lot of earthworks with their company AJM Earth. Over the years, they've done a lot of water projects, whether that's repairing ponds, installing ponds, working in rivers. I figured with their help we could find a good spot for a pond that we could not only catch water off our watershed, but retain it and then be able to use it for our animals all year long. All right, step one for picking pond spot.
All right, what we want to do is we want to grab the flow of water from the far edge of the property over there, and we want to take that all the way over to here. So we have a little swale dug out now. It's kind of our starting point, and we're going to swing over with the laser and take a shot on that elevation and then transfer it over here. And as long as this is downhill of that, we're going to have gravity.
All right.
So let's start there.
Let's start. All right, Bubba, grab the stick. Nice, look at that. He's all ready to go. He knows what we're doing.
Right on.
I like it. He's on this morning. We were able to find the perfect spot where we could put the pond, where all the rain that falls on Sunny Mountain will eventually make its way into the pond, allowing us to water livestock and maybe even take a swim on a hot, sunny summer day. Once we had a location for the pond picked out, it was time to line up some equipment and some help digging. We're very fortunate both of our families have some excavation equipment. Kay's dad lent us a dozer and a grade-all, which we are incredibly grateful for. It's going to be the perfect pair to dig this pond. first step in digging this pond is to remove the topsoil. And you heard right, I did say topsoil. We talked about on this property, it looked like a lot of the topsoil was gone. But as we come down here and started pushing, we see a lot of really dark, rich soil, which is a good sign that there might be some more topsoil, just more compacted, like we noticed when we were looking at this property when my parents were here. First, we're gonna push off the topsoil, and then we're gonna start digging down. And we'll dig the pond. Now, we're looking for something very specific here that's gonna kind of make or break this pond build. We are really hoping that as we start to dig down here, we're gonna find some clay. If we can find clay soil here, this is gonna hold water a lot better. It's gonna be a cheaper project. No clay, then we're gonna have problems. I'll talk about the pond dimensions and why we chose the shape and the size that we did. We're gonna have to core the pond. We'll explain what that is. We're gonna have this pond dug in a couple days. We'll be catching water. And long before we ever live here, we'll have proof that we can water animals, no problem, up here on Sunny Mountain.
The pond is designed for multiple functions. We wanted first and foremost to be able to catch thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of rainwater without having to buy an extremely large cistern and manage a huge cistern. We figured when it comes to watering livestock, a pond would be the best way to do it. Now, you guys know me, I love fishing. So if I'm gonna have this pond here with thousands and thousands of gallons of water, it would just make sense to put some fish in it. Doing our research, we learned that the minimum size for a fishing pond to keep a healthy and stable ecosystem on your property is about a 1/4 acre. A 1/4 acre fit nicely at the bottom of Sunny Mountain. And of course, the hillside provides the watershed that would keep this pond full all summer long. I can almost taste the fish tacos already. Wait, can never be that easy.
All right, now we got a problem here. So far, we're digging, and this is, if you're putting in a pond, this is not what you want to see. If you're putting in a pond, you don't want to be digging up gravel, shale, stones. What you want to be digging up is clay. Now maybe you're saying, why didn't you guys check for clay before you dug the pond? Well, we did. Okay, this is a little thing we found on this property that is...
Not too long ago, we came to the property looking for signs that we'd be able to have a pond. And we found a couple different holes that had been holding water.
What does that tell you about the soil? Is there clay here or is it silted? What?
We got some clay in it because it's holding the water nicely.
If we do find clay here, it'll be less time, less fuel, less money. If we don't find clay, we'll have to go find it in other spots on the property, which there is good clay on the property, hopefully enough. If not, we would have to do a liner or bentonite, and this is where ponds get really expensive. So pray for clay.
Okay, it's time for our very first Homestead from scratch project cost breakdown. Some of you are probably thinking, why don't you guys just dig a well? As we've stated, we actually think it's going to be cheaper for us to do the pond and rainwater catchment than to do a well. Why do we think that? Well, we did a little research. We got an estimate for a well on Sunny Mountain.
Okay, kids are home sick today. Kids are home every day. But today they're sick. So I took the time to make a few phone calls to get some prices for stuff for the new place.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, the first one I called and got, they gave me 3 prices for different depths.
Okay.
Dad said he drilled his wells at 300 and 500 feet.
This is a very important number. We're basing our guesstimate off of because we currently live on a sunny mountain of sorts. Our Pennsylvania homestead is located on top of a small shaly mountain. Back when Kay's dad drilled for water when he was establishing his homestead years ago, he drilled not one but 3 wells at 300 and 500 feet. And he did that because neither of them produced a lot of water. We figured we also would be digging possibly multiple wells very deep on top of our shaly mountain.
So, what's your guess?
For 300 or 500? 300. 5,000 to 10,000 is my guess for a well.
Let's do a 250 foot.
Okay.
What's your guess?
250 foot. Like 2,500?
More.
5,000.
More.
10,000?
More.
Oh, wow. Whoa. 20,000?
He always does that. Like, you'll guess in increments, and then at the end you'll be like, I don't know, $50,000.
But I mean, I walked up to 10.
You walked up to 10, you still missed 12.
Which is what they said, 12?
No, more.
14?
More.
16?
17, 8, 16.
Oh my goodness. That's for a 250 foot deep well. Now remember, on our sunny mountain, our shaly homestead in western Pennsylvania, we have a 300 and 500 foot deep well. So that could be the low end of the estimate. Of course, this is an estimate, and the best case scenario, we dig a 50 foot deep well. If we do a 50 feet well,
$7,000.
are we going to do better by putting in a pond and some rainwater catchment? What is this pond costing us? We mentioned early on in this project, we're going to share our expenses for each particular piece of this project, and we're going to try to be very transparent, so if any of you want to do what we're doing, you know what to expect. So coming right out of the gate, we already told you we are fortunate to have family members who have excavation equipment, and they love us, and they are showing their love to us, letting us use this equipment without additional expense. So that is a huge savings that we have on this project that not everybody will have. The machines are essentially free to us right now. If we can dig this pond quickly, just a couple days, and we have enough clay on the site, the expenses for this pond will be extremely minimal. We're talking under $1,000. But of course, that depends on clay, which is why I encourage you to pray for clay. If we need to use a liner for this pond or bentonite, we could be looking at somewhere around $7,000 to $10,000 in additional cost. Unfortunately, with both pond digging or well digging, you don't know until you've completed the project. We have lots of mentors around us who have a lot of experience and helped us decide that yes, we feel the pond is going to be the less expensive, more successful solution. But of course, there's no way of knowing until this is over. So stay tuned till it is. We'll be sure to share with you everything we've spent on the project once this is complete.
Next machine we're going to be using for the pond is called a grade awl. And I ran equipment 15 years of my life. I was a professional excavator. Never run a grade awl. This is going to be a first. Danny is a master on the grade awl. I've seen him do some beautiful, beautiful work. It's cool because the bucket rotates, it knuckles, and so you can already get some nice grades set. If you're digging like a pond edge like you see him doing right now, he's able to, instead of an excavator which just digs flat, he's able to angle that and grade the sides. Really, really cool machine. I just have zero idea how I'm gonna do working it. I've never run one before, and it's not the same as an excavator, which is what I spent 15 years running. So, should be interesting.
Your homestead water system can make or break your homestead. We always use frost-free hydrants to have running water all winter long. If you want to see how to install those, watch this video. And stay tuned for the next video in the series. Find out if we find clay and if I can operate a gradall.